Well, my dear students, welcome back to my video class. In this video class, I am going to deal with another important type cell division. Yesterday we have seen the mitotic cell division or somatic cell division, and where the cells are dividing and equation cell division takes place. All these things we have discussed, and today we are discussing about the gametic cell division, where the reduction division takes place. But in mitosis, the chromosome number is unaltered. It will not change. But in case of meiosis, the chromosome number is reduced to half. That means 2n is reduced to n. So this is called as reduction division, or it is also called as meiosis. So it is called as meiosis. So meiosis, it is a special type of cell division. It is taking place in two types of meiosis, that is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So this is taking place only in the reproductive cells. Reproductive cells means in case of plants in the anther, in case of ovary, that is in the ovules, and in animals it is in the gonads, and it is in the case of testis and ovary it is taking place, whatever it is. So in sexually reproducing organisms only we are observing the meiosis. Okay, how actually the meiosis takes place? So meiosis takes place in two steps. I have told you already. Meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So these two things are happening here, and likewise meiosis 1 is also having 4 stages: prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. So this is the first meiotic division, and second meiotic division also consists of another 4 types: prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2. So this is the actual cell division which is taking place here: prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1, prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2. Not only this, the prophase 1 is having another 5 stages. So that is leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotin and diakinesis. So this is the what you call the schematic representation of meiosis. Meiosis is having two types of cell division: meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 is having prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. Prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2. Prophase 1 is also having another 5 sub-stages, what is known as leptonema, zygonema, pachynyma, diplonema and diakinesis, or leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotin and diakinesis. This is the schematic representation of meiosis. Now let us start with meiosis 1, and before starting with meiosis 1 we have to start with prophase 1. So the cell is entering into prophase 1. So prophase 1 we are observing now. So prophase 1. So in this one, leptotene means it is having round shaped cells here, and in this one we are having the nuclear envelope, and the chromatin, the nuclear material is in the form of chromatin network. Okay, and we will find the nucleolus is here. So this is called as nuclear membrane. So chromatin network and nucleolus. So all these things are present here. In this case, the genetic material is in the form of chromatin thread or chromonema, and chromomeres are very clearly observed in this, and nucleus is very observed, and nuclear membrane is very much developed or very much present, very distinct. And coming to zygotene, Zygote, very important stage. So in this zygote, the cells or the nuclear material undergoes condensation, or the chromatin network undergoes condensation, and due to condensation, so you can observe here, this is the nucleus, and you are observing the thick and stout chromosomes. Chromosomes are observed here, so like this. Okay, chromosomes are observed like this. So these are the chromosomes here, and why the chromosomes appear here? Because the the chromatin network undergoes condensation, and due to condensation, the chromatin network undergoes thicker and stouter, and the nuclear material is very much clearly observed. So this is first thing. What is happening in zygote? In zygote, the chromatin network undergoes condensation and produces somewhat thicker type of things here. And in this zygote, there is one more thing is happening, what is known as synapsis. Okay, this is very important. What is synapsis? Synapsis is also called as pairing of chromosomes. Pairing means the two chromosomes in the group, they come and pair with each other. So this is called as pairing, or it is called as synapsis. So who are pairing? So here the paternal and maternal chromosomes, they come and they pair. One paternal chromosome, one maternal chromosome, they come and pair. So how it is possible? So each sexually reproducing organism, for example in human beings, we have 46 chromosomes. Out of 46, 23 are given from the female parent, 23 are from the male parent. So the chromosomes which have come from the male parent are called as paternal chromosomes, and 23 who have come from mother, they are called as maternal chromosomes. The paternal and maternal chromosome, for example, here you can observe, this is one chromosome, okay, and this is another chromosome here, and these chromosomes, they come and pair with each other. So this is called as pairing of chromosomes. So pairing takes place. In which stage? In the zygote, pairing takes place. What do you mean by pairing? Pairing is nothing but the paternal and maternal chromosomes which are homologous, which you have to understand very properly. All paternal, all maternal will not come, which are homologous, similar in all sequences, gene sequences, they come and they are very close to one another, and because of that, the paternal maternal chromosome which are homologous to each other, they come and pair. So this is called as the pairing of chromosomes, which is taking place in zygote stage. But now, how they pair? How they come to know that this is my pair, this is my pair, this is homologous, this is homologous? So there, one enzyme plays an important role, and that chromosome secretes an enzyme around it, and that enzyme is called as synaptonemal complex. Synaptonemal complex is secreted, and this homologous chromosome is attracted by the synaptonemal complex and it pairs. This type of thing is called as pairing of chromosomes, which is taking place in zygote, and in zygote, when they pair, again condensation begins. Condensation continues. So next it enters into pachytene. So in the pachytene, once again, I will just draw the diagram here. So this is the nucleus, okay, and here you can observe pachytene. So this is the chromosome here. So here another chromosome will, the homologous chromosomes which are present here, so they are exchanging their segments. Wherever they are present here, so they are exchanging the segments, and that is called as crossing over. Crossing over takes place. See here, crossing over takes place in pachytene. Pachytene means when they homologous chromosomes, when they come and pair with each other like this, so they cross with each other. So what is the purpose of crossing? Crossing means exchange of genetic material between the homologous chromosomes. That phenomenon is called as crossing over, and where the crossing over takes place, there the chromosomes are still attached. And that attachment where the chromosomes are attached, that is called as chiasma. Chiasma are produced here. And in one pair, there may be production of more than 10 chiasma. So sometimes many chiasmata are produced. So many chiasmata are produced here. So how many chiasmata are there? So many exchange spots are there in the chromosomes. So this is called as crossing over. Due to crossing over, chiasmata are produced. Again, the condensation is continued. Condensation is continued. So that is the meaning of Pachytene. And next one is diplotein. Diplotein is here. Diplotein, again, I will just draw the diagram. This is the cell and this is the nucleus. So in this one again, you are observing the chromosomes here. So this is the chromosome and this is another chromosome here. So where they have exchanged their material. Okay. So they have exchanged their material. Okay. So this is the chromosome. Like this, I will draw only few chromosomes here. I cannot show many. Okay. Okay. So this is the chromosome here. Like this. So in this diplotein, again there is condensation, and due to condensation the chromosome becomes shorter and stouter. But one more important thing takes place here. I have told you already, in a pair of chromosomes, homologous chromosomes, where the synapsis has taken place, in the paired chromosomes, there is exchange of genetic material between the homologous chromosomes, and this, at the place where the exchange of material has taken place, that is attached. The chromosomes of both the pairs are attached here, and that attachment area on the chromosome is called as chiasma. Singular. Chiasmata is plural form. So many chiasma are there, but these chiasma are reduced. So many chiasma are there. So 10 to more than 10 sometimes. So some chiasmata are released. They are removed from that particular spot, and that removal of chiasmata are called as terminalization. So here one more important thing takes place, that is called as terminalization. Terminalization takes place. So due to terminalization, the number of chiasmata are reduced. Number of chiasmata are reduced, and because of that, the number of chiasmata, again there is condensation. Again there is condensation. But here in the zygotine, pachytene, diplotein, there are chromosomes here. Say for example, this is one chromosome, okay, and this is another chromosome which is totally paired here. This is totally paired, and in this one you can observe 1, 2, 3, 4 chromatic, 4 arms, and this particular structure is called as bivalent. Bivalent chromosomes. Bivalent means two chromosomes are present in a group and in a structure, and that structure is called as a bivalent. Since there are 4 chromatids here, it is also called as tetrad. You have to understand the terminology. Bivalent means what? When the homologous chromosomes, they pair with each other, so they are having 2 chromosomes in a group, and that group is called as a bivalent chromosome. Bivalent means one paternal and one maternal chromosome, they are present together, and that particular structure is called as a bivalent. In a bivalent, how many chromatids are there? 4 chromatids are there, and because of that, a bivalent is also called as a tetrad. So up to this we have observed, and now the last stage of prophase 1, that is called as diakinesis. Diakinesis takes place here, and diakinesis is again very important here. In the diakinesis, I told you already, the chromosomes are in the bivalent form, the chromosomes are in the tetrad form, chromosomes have exchanged their segments, crossing over has been taken place, and not only that, the terminalization has taken place, minimum number of chiasmata are left over. That means the bivalent chromosomes, the maternal and paternal chromosomes which are present together, they cannot go away from one another because they are attached by means of chiasma. So chiasmata are present here, and because of the chiasmata, the paired chromosomes, they remain together. So this is called as the bivalent chromosomes. So again, maximum condensation takes place and in diplotin. By the time diakinesis takes place, the chromosomes are maximum condensed, and you can observe here. So for example, so this is the bivalent chromosome. So you will observe here. So this is one chromosome. This is another chromosome. See here. So this is another chromosome here. Like this, the chromosomes are very much thick and stout. Okay. So like this, I will show only 4 chromosomes here. It will be very easy to understand. 4 chromosomes we shall study. So very much condensed. But during the diakinesis, the nuclear envelope starts disappearing, and finally, by the end of the diakinesis, the nuclear envelope or nuclear membrane disappears. And until this stage, the nucleolus is still present. Nucleolus is still present. For example, this is the nucleolus. This is the nucleolus. Nucleolus is present here. So nucleolus, and nucleolus is not freely floating in the nucleoplasm, but the nucleolus is always attached to the nucleolar organizer region, where the satellite chromosomes are there. In the secondary construction region, the nucleolus is attached. Still it is present up to the diplotin. But in the diakinesis, the nucleolus also disappears. Nuclear membrane disappears. Nuclear envelope disappears. Nuclear membrane disappears. Chromosomes are maximum condensed, and the chromosomes are present in the form of bivalents or in the form of tetrads. But the bivalents are attached to one another by means of chiasma. So this is the condition. But since the nuclear envelope disappears, all the chromosomes are shut out. They are shed in the, or they are distributed in the cytoplasm. So until diakinesis, all the chromosomes have a covering, that is the nuclear membrane. There is no connection between protoplasm and the chromosomes. But in the diakinesis, the nuclear membrane has gone, it is disappeared, and all chromosomes are bathed in the cytoplasm. And by the end of diakinesis, there is production of one more important structure, what is known as the spindle fibers. Spindle fibers are produced from both the poles. From both the poles, spindle fibers are produced. Okay, spindle fibers are produced here, and due to spindle fibers, the spindle fibers, they move just like the mitosis. The spindle fibers, they move towards the center. The spindle fibers from opposite pole, they move towards the center, where the chromosome pairs or the bivalents are present, and these bivalents are attached to each other by means of what you call the chiasmata. And now, as usual, the spindle fibers, they go and attach to the chromosomes. What is the spot? So it is as usual. So spindle fibers, they hook the chromosome at centromere region. Because in one pair, there are 2 centromeres. The centromere of this paternal chromosome, centromere of this paternal chromosome, they are present together, and the 2 the centromeres are there. The spindle fibers from this and this, they are attached, and they start pulling. And due to pulling of this, the chromosome pairs or the bivalents, they become arranged at the equatorial plate. Okay, I will just draw here. Next comes metaphase 1. Metaphase 1 here. So I will just show the diagram here. So this is the centromere. So this is the centromere region. Centromere, and you can show here. Centromere region. So I will show here. Like this, 4 chromosomes I will show. And the spindle fibers from this region, it will come and hook the centromere. It will come and this centromere, it will hook this centromere and hook this centromere. From this region, the spindle fiber will go and hook this centromere. So this is the, because of the exerting pressure from the spindle fiber from opposite poles, what happens? So the spindle fibers, they are dragged towards the opposite poles, and because of this it is called as the metaphase, because the bivalent chromosomes, they are arranged at the equatorial plate, equatorial region, or equidistant from both the poles, equidistant from both the poles, so they are attached here. And second one is, what happens here is, in case of mitosis, I have told you, when these spindle fibers are pulling the chromosomes who are attached at the equatorial plate, I have told you that is centromeres. So in case of mitosis, in the metaphasic plate, the centromeres are attached or arranged. But here, in case of metaphase 1 of meiosis, the centromeres are not attached to the equatorial plate, but chiasmata are arranged at the equatorial plate. Chiasmata are arranged at the equatorial plate. So this is called as metaphase 1, and because of the pulling of the these chromosomes by the spindle fibers, the chiasmata break. When the chiasmata break, the chromosomes start moving towards opposite poles. That leads to anaphase 1. Anaphase 1. So in the anaphase 1, here what happens is, this is the chromosome. This is the chromosome here. So chromosome. So 4 chromosomes I am showing, and this is the chromosome here. This is the chromosome. 4 chromosomes I have told you. So, and the spindle fibers are attached here, and because of the pulling nature of the spindle fibers, the the chromosomes are moving towards opposite poles. So anaphase of mitosis, anaphase 1 of meiosis, what is the difference? In case of anaphase 1 of meiosis, chromosomes are moving towards opposite poles. In case of anaphase of mitosis, chromatids are moving towards opposite poles. This is very important. So this is called as anaphase 1. Last one is telophase 1. Telophase 1. So here what happens? All the chromosomes, they reach the poles. So all the 4 chromosomes, whatever number of chromosomes are there, they reach the opposite poles, and because of this, the chromosomes are present at the polar region and spindle fibers disappear. So this is called as telophase 1. So that is leptotin, zygotin, pachytin, diplotin, diakinesis, 5 substages of prophase 1. After this, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. So telophase 1 is over. But after telophase 1, what happens? After telophase 1, there is no the interphase. No interphase here. After telophase 1, there may be cytokinesis. There may be cytokinesis. Sometimes there may not be cytokinesis. Okay. So this telophase 1. So the nuclear membrane reappears. Okay. Nuclear membrane reappears, and the chromatin network, when the chromosomes undergo decondensation and nucleolus disappears, whatever has taken place in diakinesis, the reverse of thing takes place, and this is called as telophase 1. And after telophase 1, we are entering into meiosis 2. We are entering into meiosis 2. So this is called as meiosis 2. What is known as meiosis 2. Meiosis 2 here, and meiosis 2 is just like normal mitosis. Meiosis 2 is just like normal mitosis. And after the telophase 1, what happens? This is the mother cell. In the mother cell, you are observing the 2 nuclei because of first meiosis, and what is known as the chromatin network is present here. Okay. So chromatin network is present here like this. Okay, and nucleolus is there, and this is called as prophase 2. Prophase 2 is produced. Now prophase 2, as it continues, so what happens? The nucleus absorbs water from the cytoplasm, and it becomes bigger in size, and gradually the nuclear membrane starts disappearing. Ultimately it disappears, and the nucleolus disappears, and so I will just show here late prophase 2. Late prophase 2 I will just show you now. So this is the cell here, and chromosomes have undergone decondensation. So this is the paternal and maternal chromosomes have gone here. So paternal and maternal chromosomes. Okay. So these are the chromosomes here. So like this, chromosomes are taking place here, and because of this chromosomes, so chromosomes are arranged like this. So like this, and spindle fibers start appearing. So spindle fibers start appearing. So you can find here spindle fibers are of 2 pairs. So you can find here spindle fibers appear, and these spindle fibers, they come and hook the centromere. So this is called as late prophase, and after that you will find metaphase 2. So metaphase 2 means, so this is the cell, and here you will find the chromosome 1, chromosome 2, chromosome 3, chromosome 4 like this, and the spindle fibers from here, they hook the centromeres of the spindle fibers. So you can find here, this is one plate, metaphasic plate, and another one is you will find like this, and one more, and here that metaphasic plate. So what is the difference between metaphase 1 and metaphase 2? We have to critically analyze metaphase 1 and metaphase 2. In metaphase 1, you will find only one metaphasic plate. In metaphase 1, the chromosome bivalents are arranged on the equatorial plate. In metaphase 1, the chiasmata are present on the equatorial plate. So here, the chromosomes are arranged on the equatorial plate, but the spindle fibers have hooked the centromere, and you will find 2 metaphasic plates here. 2 metaphasic plates are present here, and when they are arranged to equatorial plate, it is called as metaphasic plate. As usual, spindle fibers start pulling these chromosomes continuously. Because of the continuous pulling of the chromosomes, what happens? The centromere breaks. And due to breaking of the centromere, the chromatids are produced, because when the centromere breaks, chromatids are produced, and chromatids starts moving towards opposite poles. So that leads to anaphase 2. Anaphase 2 here. I will just show you the diagram of anaphase 2. So you can find here 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you will find the chromosomes which are moving like this, here, and this is the what we call the spindle fibers. Now you can find here the chromatids are moving towards opposite poles. Here also you will find the movement of chromatids towards opposite poles. But now, what is the difference between anaphase 1 and anaphase 2? In anaphase 1, only one pair of chromatids are moving towards opposite poles, but here 4 pairs are moving towards opposite poles. That is the most important thing we have to remember. So here, during metaphase 1, what happens? The centromeres are arranged, metaphase 2, centromeres are arranged on the equatorial plate due to the pulling of the centromere from opposite poles equally. So because of that, they are arranged, and after some time, because of the continuous pressure applied on the centromere breaks, and as a chromosome is broken into two chromatids, and both chromatids are start moving towards opposite poles. When the chromatids start moving towards opposite poles, it is called as anaphase 2. Now, the practical question here is how to identify anaphase 2 in your slide. So that is, if the 4 groups of chromatids are moving, so that is anaphase 2. If 2 groups of chromosomes are moving, it is anaphase 1. If 2 groups of chromatids are moving, so it is anaphase of mitosis. So that critically you have to understand. So this is one important thing. When the chromatids move towards opposite poles, the chromosomes, they are converted when they reach the opposite poles. Say for example, so here the chromosomes have reached the opposite poles here. Okay, so here the chromosomes have reached opposite poles. The spindle fibers disappear, and the nuclear membrane reappears. Okay, so here the chromosomes reach the opposite poles. Chromatids, I am telling you here, the chromatids are have reached the opposite poles, because only one arm is present here, because chromatids have reached the poles here. So this is the chromatid, this is the chromatid, this is the chromatid here. So like this, the chromatids have reached the opposite poles, and towards this, around this, nuclear envelope starts disappearing, reappearing once again. So this is the beginning of telophase 2. Early telophase 2, and in the late telophase, I will just draw the diagram here. So you will find 4 nuclei present here, and in this one, the chromatids which are present, they undergo decondensation, and chromatin network is produced. So chromatin network is produced. Okay, so chromatin network is produced, and the nucleolus reappears. Nuclear envelope reappears. So this is called as telophase 2. Early telophase 2. It is called as late telophase 2. It is early telophase 2. So like this, 4 nuclei are produced, and each nucleus is containing half the number of chromosomes, haploid number of chromosomes. So they are produced, but in case of mitosis, only 2 nuclei are produced after telophase. But here, after the completion of meiosis, 4 nuclei are produced here. So that is called as the meiosis. And in meiosis, what happens is the cytokinesis may begin here, and as usual, there is formation of cell plate, and cell plate grows on either side. So 2 cells are produced here, and here you can observe. So 2 cells are produced like this. Before the meiosis 2, there may be division of cytoplasm. So because of that, 2 cells are produced here, and this is called as dyad stage. Sometimes there may be production, there may not be production of dyads. Directly the cell may enter into meiosis 2. But if the meiosis 2 enters without dyad, so first thing is the transverse wall is produced. So 2 cells are produced, and here one more cell plate is produced. It grows on this side as well as on this side. So 4 cells are produced here. 4 nuclei and 4 cells, and this stage is again called as tetrad stage. Each cell is now containing what? Containing about 4 nuclei. So this is called as the meiosis 2. So meiosis is taking place, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 is containing prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1, and prophase 1 is containing substages which are called as leptotin, zygotine, pachytine, diplotin, diakinesis. And what are the things happening in the leptotin, zygotine, pachytine, diplotin, diakinesis we have discussed. And afterwards, what is metaphase 1, what is anaphase 1, what is telophase 1, and after telophase 1 there may be cytokinesis, and because of cytokinesis there are production of two cells, and these two daughter cells are there, and because of these two cells it is called a dyad. And there may be cytokinesis or there may not be cytokinesis after telophase 1. If the cytokinesis takes place, it is called as dyad. If the cytokinesis do not take place, so then it will directly enter into meiosis 2. When the meiosis 2 is produced here, prophase 1 early, prophase 2 the condensation, then disappearing of nuclear membrane, condensation of the chromatin network, disappearing of nucleolus, all these things are taking place. Spindle fibers appear, and after the spindle fiber appear, they come and hook the centromeres of the chromosomes, and they are pulled apart, and because of the equal pulling on both the poles, the chromosomes are arranged on the equatorial plate during metaphase 2. And due to the continuous pulling by the spindle fibers from opposite poles, the centromere breaks, and because of the breaking of this centromere, chromatids are produced, and the group of chromatids are moving towards the opposite poles. But the speciality of anaphase 2 here is 4 groups of chromatids are moving towards opposite poles. 4 groups of chromatids are moving towards opposite poles. So this is what is known as anaphase 2. Then telophase 2, this is early telophase, and these chromosomes, chromatids, when they reach here, so the telophase begins, and gradually, I have shown with the dotted line, that means gradually there is a reappearing of the nuclear envelope, and reappearing of the nucleolus starts here, and in the late telophase 2, the nuclear membrane becomes very much distinct, and the decondensation of the chromatin material takes place, or the chromatids takes place, and the reappearing of the nucleolus takes place. So this is the last stage of meiosis, that is telophase 2. And when the telophase 2 is over, there is cytokinesis, and due to cytokinesis, 4 daughter cells are produced, and these 4 daughter cells are held together here, and this stage is called as the tetrads. And these tetrads, of course, different types of tetrads we are studying, that we have studied in embryology. T-shaped tetrads, inverted T-shaped tetrads, linear tetrads, all these things you have seen. That is depending upon the type of plants. Anyway, 4 cells are produced here, and these 4 cells are containing half the number of chromosomes. Half the number of chromosomes means here we are having the what is called as the haploid number of chromosomes. This is called as the meiosis, and 4 cells are produced here. Now, what is the significance of meiosis? Significance of meiosis is there is a reduction in the chromosome number. And if there is no meiosis, what would happen? Because from one generation to next generation, the chromosome number goes on doubling. So, because of this, from so many generations we are observing, so we have the constant number of chromosomes. There is no variation in the chromosome number. Why the chromosome number becomes constant? Even what the chromosome numbers are present in the parents, the same number of chromosomes are present in the offsprings. It is because of meiosis. Since the meiosis is taking place, in the reproductive cells, the chromosome number is reduced to half, and because of the reduction in the chromosome number, the total number of chromosomes in the zygote after fertilization will remain the same. So this is called as one important thing. Maintenance of chromosome number, constant chromosome number, meiosis is very important. Not only that, whatever the things we are observing in the nature, there is what you call each organism is different from one another. There is and because of meiosis, there is scope for evolution. Why? Because of crossing over. There is exchange of genetic material. Because of that, the individuals of the same parents are not same. Because of this one. So, because of crossing over, there is a lot of differences between the children of the same parents. So, all these things we have to study, and in my notes, I have given all the details. You go through it and prepare well, and if you understand meiosis, there is no problem in understanding mitosis. But all are very simple. Go through that, and in the next class I am going to deal with nucleic acids. Goodbye.